السلام عليكم، ازيكم حبايبي. احنا ان شاء الله النهارده يعني عودا حميدا الحمد لله، وان شاء الله السمستر الجاي يبقى كله كده خير وبركه وتفوق وشغل جامد. اوكي، واحنا رجعنا اديناكم ليف كبيره قوي اهوت في البورتفوليو لحد ما نخلص كل الديوتيز اللي علينا عشان ما نشاركوش ونرهقكم بحاجات زياده. بس ان شاء الله من الاسبوع الجاي هيبقى فيه كل اسبوع تاسك هننزله وهنتكلم عليه وهنشرحه وهنعمله ازاي وهنقول الديدلاين بتاعه امتى. اول تاسك عندنا الاسبوع الجاي باذن الله هيكون in write a reflecting piece about ايه. هنتكلم قبل ما نقول هنتكلم عن ايه. عايزين نعرف يعني ايه reflecting piece، يعني ايه اكتب reflecting essay أو reflecting record أو reflecting about something. فبالتالي لازم نعرف من الأول يعني إيه reflecting writing. Our learning objective are understand the meaning. What is the meaning of reflecting writing? What is the meaning of reflection? And reflection in medicine per se, why does it matter? What is medical reflecting writing? Then how to do, what are the steps to write, how to analyze your own development, and we give hint about teaching style and learning style. Let us starting, but what is the meaning of the word reflection? As you know from your study before in physics, reflection means to bend or to turn back. in Arabic انعكاس، صح؟ كنا بنقول reflection يعني انعكاس. So if you need to translate in the word reflection by simple translation as it is found in Oxford English Dictionary, reflection is the result of careful thinking, typically influenced by the recollection of one's past experience. What we mean by that? We mean that reflection, starting to think deeply or carefully about something or about an event or so on. In Arabic we say in Quran, أفلا يتفكرون أفلا يتدبرون. Reflection mean التدبر أو التفكر. So by all language, reflection meaning is deep thinking. It is the bridge between thinking and what I will do after that. So it is a bridge between thinking and acting later on. So from the psychological aspect of view, reflection is a metacognitive process that occurs before, during, and after situation. Why? With the purpose of developing greater understanding of both the self and the situation, so that future action can be informed by this understanding. So reflection can lead to a greater self-awareness, which in turn is a first step to a positive change. I think, then and analyze the act, then I have a comment of this act, then I make an action plan to be better when I expose to this act or this event later on. I mean, it is the first step to positive change. So reflection, of course, is a part of the learning process. Reflection on an experience can lead to make link between the theory and the practice, between the past and the future, between the development up to date of the knowledge. And of course, this is what we need actually in your medical study or medical life as a whole, or as whatever you are, a learning student or practitioner or even expert in your field. So it will help you to identify the successful aspect of an experience and any useful principle which can be applied to other situations. So we think, then we make change or analyze our situation to improve our action. So reflection may be before the event, during the event, and after the event. For example, there are many complex learning theories about the reflective process which we need to discuss here, such as your PBL learning, your problem-based learning. How you deal with this learning, how you deal with this process, what's your opinion in it, what is your understanding, what is the outcome of this method of teaching or method of learning, for example. So simply, reflection means I think, what is the event? So why? What we mean? So what? Then what next? What I will do next? So there is a 3 parameter of reflection. What's, so what, and what next? Before, during, and after the event. Of course, on medical course, you are required to produce reflecting writing too, learning from education and practical experience, and to develop the habit of critical reflection as a matter of life or as a future health professional. So it may be you develop yourself to be a habit, not any event like simply, but you should learn from every event you have in your medical journey and all process of your medical career. In medicine per se, why reflection is important for us as a student? Firstly, to define the basic knowledge you have, then analyze them, then learning the meaning of it, then learning how to practice this one, this learning how to avoid your mistake later on during practice, this learning how to be a professional of your act. So this is the way of your success in your medical life and medical career. So reflecting, learning, or reflection in general help us to avoid past mistakes, help you to identify your educational needs, and to improve your personal and clinical confidence, and later on, finally, to promote your deep learning. All of these steps are steps for your success in your medical life and your medical career. Of course, one of the methods of developing this to you or trying to develop this to you is the PBL. So PBL and reflecting writing are go hand in hand. Problem-based learning is a professional need. Help you to be professional. Professional need to develop and practice their reflective throughout their life, as we say. So you begin to practice and record your skills in phase 1 portfolio, and you should have an evidence for that, as evidence of reflecting practice is an important component of your curriculum, and it will be a helping aid for you in your future career. How we do that? How we do reflection? How we write an reflecting piece? How I score or record and give feedback, not only feedback, we say, and give a reflection back of my work on my practice. Let us set that there is some basic guideline and talk about some potential starting point. We will start now for your reflected writing. Again, reflection writing have two ways or two development. Starting by description. What we mean by description? Description, the event you have. What's this event? When it occurs, so timing is a very important one. Why? To develop to when you later on go back to this reflection, you will have known what about this mistake as this step, how to avoid this mistake later on, and so. So you should have timing for your reflection. Who are the personnel with you? Is there your colleague, your tutors, your patient, your environment, your whatever, who the personnel are with you or who are singing with you. And this is occur where? So it is just a descriptive process. I describe what's event, when it occurred, who with me, and where this act. Then I think, what about my feeling about what this event or this process? It is good, it is bad. I was thankful or I was shameful or I was appreciated or what? What is the thought? What is my feeling about this event? Then I know now my feeling. So do you think why you feel like that? How you feel that? Okay? So later on, if you expose to this event later on in your life, what will be your reaction? What will be your opinion? What will be your act? So this is the reflective process. So reflective process starting by descriptive the event and then give reflecting back on this event. As you say, Jebus is a scientist who have designed the reflection in a cycle. The cycle is starting by description, as we say. What about your feeling about this event? So, six steps, starting by description for the event. What about your feeling about this event? How to evaluate this event? It is good, it is bad, it is cheerful, it is thankful, it is not very good for you. You will have it later on. You didn't have it later on at your life. What is your evaluation? Then why is this okay in your opinion? Is there this, for example, I will give you example later on. And as a result, the conclusion of this act. So after this conclusion, you have a conclusion of this event. So what will you do to avoid this or encourage this later on in your life? What we say action plan. This reflecting cycle can be based on any process in your life or any events in your life, not only learning, not only medical learning, not only academic process or not only practical, but about your feeling, your love, your relation with your colleague, your relation with others, your experience, your hoping, and everything of your life. You should have a reflection for this event to learn from what you have or to learn from this event later on in your life. So, again, to consolidate now our idea about reflection, we have 6 steps to do reflection, starting by what happened, what we mean description, then your feeling about this event, what you are thinking, it is bad, it is good, it is harmful, it is shameful, or what's your feeling? What led you to that decision or opinion? What we mean evaluation. Why is this your feeling? Why you feel that? So, is it good for you or it is bad for you? And is it considered it a good experience or a bad experience? You have a comment now, then why you have this experience or why you have this opinion? What sense can you make of this situation? What you have learned from this situation? And what does the literature say? This is the only one, you are the only one to feel that, or the only one to expose the situation, or there is others rather than you have the same event and have the same evaluation, and what would they say about that? We call it analyze the event, analysis. Of course, if you have this step, you will have at the end a conclusion for this event. What else you have to done? What have learned from that? And then you have learned, you have thinking deeply, and you have your comment or your conclusion. So if you expose later on to the same situation, what will be your action that we call the action plan? You have get the wrong steps or the wrong event in this. What will you action plan for that? You will try to change it, or you will try to think differently, or you will try to act differently, what we call the action plan. If you have the action plan, so you have result, you have reached your end step or your reflecting thinking. Okay, and we will give you an example for that, and we will do that or everything or every event in our medical life. So, starting, what are the steps of reflecting writing? How we do reflecting writing? This is the sixth step, as we say by Jebus, reflecting cycle. Again, we will give you now what are the steps of a reflecting writing to any event or any process or any academic work or any task you will ask to do. Starting, as we say, by description for the event, where is very important, who else was there, why was I there, what was I doing, and what other people we are doing, what is the context of this event, what happened, what my part was, what my part of the other people played was, and what is the result was. You should fulfill all these steps? No. We have an example of this in description or your life or your event, and of course it will be changed from event to another. But these are just a description or just an aid to you to write or to describe your event. Of course, as we say before, the timing is very, very important. This event was held to me at 2020, at March 2020, for example. At the last Saturday, 18 March, for example. At the next year, so after a year later on, when I return back to this reflecting piece that I have write before, it will totally differ. My thinking will be different. I have changed. Yes, I have now know what are the bad things and what are the good things that can be avoided or can be encouraged later on. So again, timing of your events is a very, very important items, and please don't forget that. What about your feeling? How was I feeling at the beginning? What was I thinking about at the time? How I made my feel? What did other people action make me think or make me feel? Is this the force of the others, or it is my own feeling? How did I feel about the outcome of the event? What do I think about it now? Okay, this is also a steps for your feeling or how to describe your feeling in any events or any act. How I evaluate this act. What are the good things about the experience? What are the bad things about my experience? For me and for others. Yes, for me and for others. Then, breaking down your event. What went well? What did I do well? Not so well. What other do well or what other do not well? Did it go as expected? If it yes, it's good. If it is no, why? What theories or research help me to understand the experience? Is this the first experience for me, or this is the experience for human life, or you have lot of people have the same experience before? What are the theories? What are the opinion? What are how they act in the same experience? Okay. What went what went wrong or didn't turn out how it should have done? In which way I or other contribute to this? And all of these verb or all of these stage of all of these example, when I think about it, that's meaning I analyze the event. I do analysis for this event or this action. Then, of course, if I do this, if I pass through the 4 steps, I will have later on a conclusion about the event. Would I have done anything differently? What are the key things that I have learned from this event or incidents? What are about my performance in it? What are the performance of others? Can this be an evidence-based? Can I do this or I publish this event as an evidence? Of course, if you compare your analyze with the others, you will have reach this conclusion. And what are the future to do? What are the advice that can advise others to do in the future? What we mean? What's your action plan? What would I do in a similar situation? What aspect of my knowledge to develop? How I will do that? What are the goals and what are the outcomes that I should focus on it later on? Okay. So again, we have 6 JPS reflecting cycle, starting by description. What about your feeling about the event? How to evaluate this event? It is good, it is bad, is what? Why you should have this analysis? And what are your conclusions about this event, and what will you do in the future to improve or encourage or change or give positive change to this act. So now we will starting about giving you an experience or example to the first reflecting piece you will write in your medical life. Starting point now, you must write a reflecting piece about your first BBL experience. Yes, I mean when you exposed to the firstly for your BBL method of teaching, which is totally different that you have before you encourage you or engage in your medical school. In Manchester Medical School, you have a line of teaching, a method of teaching that called problem-based learning. I think all of you didn't have it before you engage in your medical school. So when you have it, What is your experience about that? What is your feeling about that? What is your what is your what is good, what is bad in your opinion, or how I can make it very good, or make it, or change the negative attitude or negative change that I have. Okay, so this is will be when your task in the next week, inshallah, and I will see you again in a meeting with all of you. What will we do and how will we do that, and what are the tasks exactly. So, how we reflect on your first experience of problem-based learning experience. As we say, we have description, feeling, analyze, description, feeling, again, later on, description, feeling, evaluation, analyze, conclusion, and action plan. Okay? So, you will have a paragraph on each one. So, you will describe the event first by a title or description, then about your feeling, your evaluation, your analysis, your conclusion, and what you will do, your action plan later on. Okay, I will give you just example. Okay, how it is. You should not fulfill all the items I have to you, or but just you can take just one example, one item, and talk about it. Description, describe this in more detail. What exactly happened? What did you do? As we say before, you will describe the event. For example, this is my first PBL in my life. It was in at our time. You have do it. You have joined it. What are who are with you? Who are what is your feeling about that? Is it good? Is it bad? What was the date where you have your BBL session? Are you more dominant or quieter? You are dominant student or dominant just a quieter and don't say anything, don't express any feeling or don't share with any something. What is good? What is like your group? Is the number is efficient? For example, you have about 14 students, about 10 students, and 20 students. What's your opinion? It is better to be more, it is better to be less, and why? What is the share rule? Is it good for you to have every time a share rule, and every time a scribe rule? Or it is bad, or it is time consuming, or it is not efficient, or it is not sufficient. It is better to avoid all of this and have it like a lecture, an ordinary lecture, or what? What's your opinion? Okay, describe your experience as a share. You have a share before, you have a subscribe before or not, and why? Everything, and why you do that, and why you don't need that, and why. What about your colleague behave? They do well? They listen well? Or they are all of them talkative? Did everyone in the group contribute? Or just one, the share and the subscribe, and all the other group are keeping silent? What are the part of the BBL process you find it is most difficult? It is it is in the discussion, or it is in the taking action, or what? What does your tutor behave? He behave good, he behave not good, he behave well, not well. Did you have anything to assist with other group member? Okay, they are just an example how to describe and feel the event and what is the emotion about them. Please don't you do your personal experience, okay? But it is not allowed at all to name to mention names of anyone. It is not allowed at all to mention the name of your colleague, or the name of your tutor, or the name of your patient, or your ID, or something like that. Okay? So please be sure from that. Yes, you reflect your experience for you. You reflect your experience to go back to it later on. You reflect your experience to learn from it, not to have a document against someone, or not to define or expose someone to anything wrong. This is not the goal. Our goal to express your experience without giving harm, without giving it to any other person. So please be aware from that. Again, don't mention any name of anybody at your reflecting piece all over, please. Okay? Then, to evaluate the event, what were you trying to achieve? What was good, what was bad about you. For example, I am shameful to be a shared person, or I am shameful to be a scribe. The tutor asked me to be a scribe, and I refuse. So why? Because I am ashamed to share my idea in front of others, because I am not good in language, for example, because I am not good in the, I don't have the, I think that I don't have the medical background to give me this encouragement to discuss with my colleague or discuss in front of others. For example, from there. So what is good, what is bad, and why? Then analyze your event or your BBL session. What the internal factor will influence you. What we mean by internal factor, for example, at that day I didn't have a good sleep. I don't have a time to get add time to the BBL. I was sick. I was feeling so frustrated, for example, to anything. So what are the internal factors you analyze your act or influence you at this time? What knowledge or value did or should have informed you? For example, our BBL today is about pneumothorax, for example, as the first BBL you have. I didn't have no idea about this topic. I should have read before about this topic before joining the BBL. For example, I didn't have the anatomy of the chest wall, so I am afraid to talk in front of my colleague and my tutor to tell them that I don't have this knowledge, for example. And so, how did your action match your beliefs knowledge? I think what we mean by that, I think it is better to have encourage my colleague, or smile to my colleague, or didn't talk to anybody, or didn't talk to share my idea or share my knowledge to any other person. I think it is my belief that it is only for me, not for anything, for anyone else. I think it is better to categorize the task, for example, with other. No, I prefer to my only task and do it lonely without share of anyone. For example, this is this is some example. What factor made you act in encouraging way? Why you do that? What made you to do that in this way? And so on. Number 5, step 5, the conclusion. How does it connect with previous experience? I have this experience before. I think it is good for me to do the same act at the same time. I will do it in the future later on. For example, why? Could you have handled this better in a similar situation? How do you now feel about this experience? Can you support yourself or other better as a consequence? And when you faced with later experience later on again, what would you do? That's mean what is your action plan? So what's action to help you to develop as an active member, for example? What can you do to help you develop as an independent learner? I don't need anyone and I give the knowledge from anyone and from any resource. How can you accomplish this action? Who can help you? When should you do that? And this is very important to have a timeline to your action plan. For example, in the next BBL, I will go in my time. In the next BBL, and I will be not shame from other, or I will encourage, or I will be an active member. I will chair. I will be the chair one. I will be the strike one. In the next time, I will sleep deeply and go to sleep early to be fresh at the morning and encourage not feeling to have a sleep, not be tired. In the next time, I will be go in my time. Okay, don't be delayed. In the next time, I will, for example, the track was too busy. I will come more half an hour earlier, for example, to be better in my or to get in my time, and so okay. Okay. We have some tips and tips in reflecting writing. Please follow it. Please share your experience, opinion, event on your formation. Share your soul and feeling. Explore your learning. Be subjective. Gain and demonstrate your self-knowledge. Use this exercise to achieve clearly and better understanding of what you are learning. Develop and reinforce writing skill. Practice good grammar. It should be good in grammar, in font, and so. Make meaning out of what you study. So, we did of you a reflecting piece that gives us a good experience, so a good picture or a good feeling of who you are. We don't need any writing. We don't need any just a 2 to 3 line and so on. We don't need also to be so efficient in language and so, but please be good. Be good in your presentation, because you will go back later on to this, and of course you will be even proud of yourself or shame of yourself. So please take it serious and try to be more presentable. Please, again, don't mention any name or person in your reflecting writing. Take it as a standard university essay. Keep repeating center word idea phrases. Don't, please, some of you make a paragraph and then rephrase, or even without rephrasing, copy paste of this paragraph, and so as you don't read what you know or what you write. No, be sure again that we will be evaluated about everything you write. Okay, and be sure that we will give you feedback about every word you write in your reflecting piece. So please take it polite, serious, and presentable. To summarize, when you reflect on a situation, you don't simply see more, you see differently. You know that? When I reflect, when I expose to an experience, if I expose it to it later on, I don't see more than what I have before, but actually I see different. Why? because I make a deep thinking for this event. And so this is the purpose of reflection, to learn from an experience. And of course, this is one of the methods of study in your medical career and in your medical journey. You should learn from experience. And this is the best and the best way to consolidate what you learn and to get benefit from what you learn. Please be spontaneous. It is form of the frank and honest self that import insight arise. I mean by be spontaneous, يعني please do it by yourself. Do it without share with other. Do it individually and honestly. Okay? Express your feeling or yourself freely. You don't need to observe the normal academic practice involved in writing. I mean, you don't be excellent, and you don't know of one starting excellent at all of time and remain excellent for his whole life. Of course, you have a milestone to reach it, to move on it. So please feel free in your experience, feel free in your opinion, feel free in your feeling, and that is normal. And just to mention it, it is a very good and excellent for you. So I don't need, and you will don't have a marks or evaluation that you are good, but you have a mark or marks or evaluation that you do it good or very good or excellent in just doing and just expressing and just be honest and just be polite, okay? Not on the event itself. The event is up to you. And if you are very honest, you are very, very clever and very, very good and even excellent, okay? So you don't need to search for what is good, what is a good medical student to be me, what is the excellent student to be me. No, I don't need that. I need who are you exactly, freely and honestly. Last thing, remain open to idea. Early conclusion can inhibit further insight and solution. When you have a conclusion to an event, you will put your hand on the fact that will be later on. Of course, if you put your hand on the fact, you will have better in your life, better later on. You have excellent later on, and so again. Start to write as soon as after the event as you can. Be aware that your reflection on an event can change with the passage of time. So we need it to be really event with really feeling as a starting. As you reflect more and acquire more knowledge, then you review and change. Your writing may also be affected by your emotion at this time, and also that is good. Delaying your writing made it difficult for you to recall exactly what happened and how you felt, so your account will not be entirely accurate. Be honest again and admit to any anxiety or mistake. Select and use only key event and moment. Read other paper to get you feel for it. Lastly, remember, most importantly, you need to be genuine and honest in your reflection. Thank you. Inshallah, we will have a group meeting with all of you, and you have an individual meeting later on with your academic with PPD tutors, and we will describe for you what is needed of you actually in your task, how to do it again very simply. This is just, please read this or listen to this lecture carefully before our next meeting, and thank you.